Hey guys, it's Omar from MMOs.com. I'm doing another quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements for the week ending October 3rd, 2016. This is episode number 63 of the recap, and the first bit of news this week comes from Cacao Games regarding Black Desert Online. The news is that the Berserker class has awakened. Those with a Berserker character at level 55 or higher can now take on a quest to unlock the Iron Buster, a gauntlet with explosive power, which also unlocks a new set of exclusive skills as well. The Berserker is the third class to awaken after Warrior and Sorceress, and remember, they will all be released by the end of the year, so all the awakenings will be out by the end of the year. On a bit of a side note though, I still think Black Desert Online will go free to play sometime in the next 6 months or so. That's nothing official though, just my guess. Up next, a bit of news for an oldie. Rappelz Epic 9.4 officially launched this last week, which added a new dungeon area to the game known as the Island of Forgotten Gods, which has 4 bosses. Also cool in the update are new weapons, rings, items, and other goodies to collect. And slower to launch of the update, Webzen is hosting a 6-week set of events, which would be great for Rappelz players. For you guys that don't remember, Rappelz is an older game. It launched back in 2006, and through G-Potato, it is through Webzen now. It's an oldie, but it's still a goodie and has a loyal player base. Speaking of old games, Mu Legends is actually launching its global beta test on October 25th. I say old games because Mu Legends is based on Mu Online, which launched back in 2003. Mu Legend is the sequel to Mu Online though, and it's actually Webzen's most profitable game, so Mu Legend has a lot to live up to. Graphically speaking, the game looks pretty good, but keep in mind this is just a global closed beta. The full launch is probably still a bit away. Expect the first look for this one as soon as closed beta is available. Next up, Smash+Grab launches on Steam Early Access this last week. It's available for $16.99 during the first week of launch, and it'll jump to $20 afterwards. The game is by United Front Games, which is best known for their open world action game, Sleeping Dogs. We did a Sunday Funday video for this one already, and it's definitely a unique experience. If you like what you saw on the Sunday Funday, check it out. The game's hitting about 300 to 500 players online at any given time through Steam, which is definitely not bad. But we'll see how it does. Moving right along, a bit of news from Soulbound Studios regarding Chronicles of Elyria. Apparently the game's development studio needs an additional $2 to $3 million more to finish the game, and that's after successfully raising about $1.3 million on Kickstarter, well past their $900,000 goal. So they reached their goal and they still need over $2 to $3 million more just to be able to finish their game, which led to some controversy as they never specifically said on their Kickstarter page that they're going to need more money after they raise the Kickstarter. This ultimately led to some people feeling like they got ripped off, but it seems like a lot of the community is still supportive. I voiced my displeasure and my opinion on the podcast last week, so I'm not going to get too much into it, but if you want to hear it, check out last week's podcast. Next up, Revelation Online reveals their PvP game modes in an announcement this last week. Apparently, Revelation Online is going to have open world PvP, 3v3 arenas, and 30 vs 30 battlegrounds, and 100 vs 100 guild wars. The most interesting aspect of the announcement, I think, was the open world PvP. A lot of games kind of stepped away from that, but Revelation Online will have open world PvP starting at level 40 for everyone, which is definitely interesting because a lot of newer MMORPGs kind of step away from open world PvP, but it's cool that Revelation Online has it. They do have these weird punishment systems though, because if you kill somebody and they don't fight back, you do get penalized quite heavily. It's a bit odd because a lot of older MMORPGs would punish you as well, but they only punish you after you died, which kind of made it fair. Here you get punished just for killing someone, but it's still cool that you have open world PvP in my mind, and I'm looking forward to checking the game out during its closed beta sometime in October. Next up, also My.com related, SkyForge Ascension is set to go live on October 19th, with a pre-patch launching on October 5th. Ascension is the latest update to the game, and we've talked about it a few times already, but we do have a release date finally, and that is October 19th. One of the key changes with the update is that combat will change a little bit, so almost all enemy attacks will be dodgeable, which introduces another level of skill to PvE, which is nice. Unfortunately, despite being the official SkyForge combat trailer for the expansion, it's a cinematic trailer, so it doesn't actually show any in-game content. Next, I have a bit of news from Dual Universe Online, an upcoming sandbox first-person sci-fi MMORPG developed by Novacore. The news is that the game will be subscription-based, similar to WoW, EVE Online, and a few other games. It's interesting because a lot of games are moving away from subscription, and this game is launching with a subscription model. For an MMO sandbox game, it looks quite ambitious, and I'm looking forward to trying it, but the subscription model still seems odd, because again, a lot of companies are moving away from subscription, but we'll see how they do when it eventually launches, which we don't know exactly when. Up next, well-known MUD game developer Frog Dice launched a new game on Steam Early Access this week called Stash: No Loot Left Behind. It is a buy-to-play game on Steam, and it'll cost $15 in Early Access or $50 for a Founders Pack. The game is, quote, looking forward to bringing the magic back to MMOs, the combination of turn-based combat and highly customizable housing, as well as a bunch of other goodies. The turn-based combat and the randomly generated dungeons, though, are probably the two most interesting aspects of Stash, in my opinion, but I'll let you know more when I actually play it myself. Given the indie nature of the game, though, I'm kind of surprised with the buy-to-play model. I feel like an MMORPG needs a big player base, and making an indie studio with a buy-to-play game kind of segments the player base, so we'll see how it does. Next up, another old MMORPG seems to be relaunching. Cloud9 is being published by Red Fox Games and officially launched in open beta this last week. It was an older game that's been around for quite a while through a net game, but they shut it down and it looks like Red Fox Games has the license. I'm pretty sure Red Fox is going to become the new Suba Games. They keep resurrecting these older games. But yeah, if you never played Cloud9 back in the day and you want to play it now, which I can't imagine is that many of you, do check it out on Red Fox Games' official website. Expect the first look relatively soon. Next up, Rise of Icarus Rift of the Damned update is delayed till October 5th. It was originally set to go live on September 28th, but got pushed back for further testing needs. When launched on October 5th, it'll increase the game's level cap to 40, as well as add a few new dungeons and a few other goodies. Better delayed than broken, though. Up next, some pretty huge news from Amazon Game Studios. They announced actually 3 new games this last week. Crucible, which you're seeing in the background right now, which is some kind of MOBA. They announced a massively multiplayer sandbox game, which there is no gameplay video for yet. And thirdly, they announced another game called Crucible, which we know absolutely nothing about. All 3 games will be powered by Amazon's unique version of the CryEngine called Amazon Lumberyard, and will have special Twitch integration. The second game, in my opinion, is the most interesting, New World. It's an MMO with open-ended sandbox gameplay set in the 17th century North America, which is pretty unique. And based on how they described it, it did seem like some kind of survival game, so it'll probably have some Rust/Daisy style survival elements, but we'll see how it goes. Definitely excited to see Amazon work on some kind of MMO though. Big studio, they got lots of money, I'm sure they'll do a decent job. Up next, after 6 years of closed alpha, the game Lost Sector finally enters open beta. It's by IDC Games. It's a free-to-play shooter with some MMORPG elements. The current version of the game features a co-op story mode, team-based PvE, and PvP modes, including a conquest mode where the game's mega city can be captured by various clans. Again, the game builds itself as a tactical squad-based shooter with MMORPG elements, as well as real-time combat. Interesting. I expect the first look relatively soon. Move right along, in an interesting bit of industry news, World of Warcraft China shifts to a monthly subscription. The game was prior a pay-by-the-hour style business model, and they finally changed over to a monthly subscription. According to the publisher NetEase in China, this move was actually received quite positively by Chinese gamers. I think it makes a lot more sense. If you play hardcore, you'd rather pay monthly than pay hourly. I suspect in the long run they'll make more money this way as well, but we'll see. Up next, yet another MMORPG embraces free-to-play. Link Realms, the Ultima Online-inspired MMORPG, is officially going free-to-play on October 10th. The move should not come as a big surprise, as the game's 24-hour peak is 0 concurrent users. The game launched on Steam Early Access with a $19.99 price tag, which I guess too many people did not want to pay for. I expect free-to-play should help, and I'll do a first look then. Move right along, Bless Russia announced its first closed beta test. The Russian version of Bless Online is finally launching on October 25th, 2016. Again, at least in the closed beta. I suspect this should be good news for the Western version, because if the Russian version is going to close beta on October 25th, then the Western version through Area Games should also launch into closed beta probably shortly afterwards. No word on that officially just yet though, that's just my speculation. Based on the trailer we're seeing in the background though, it is safe to say that Bless is absolutely beautiful. Matt actually had a chance to play it already, and he assures us that the game is beautiful. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long. The next and last bit of news this week comes from Albion Online. It's the first update to the game since final beta began back in October. The update is called the Elyria update, and it brought forth with it the Highlands biome, the return of the Keeper faction, 36 new artifacts, and more. Albion Online has changed a lot since we first did a Sunday Funday video for it nearly a year ago. This is one game I'm actually looking forward to at launch. I tried to play it too much during alpha/closed beta, as I'd rather just wait to play it during launch, especially since these games do change a lot before release. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO news this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Later guys.